The Power of Habit is a book which deals with habits and shows us how we can overcome them. It deals with a lot of science, a lot of studies, so let's learn something. First of all, what are habits? Habits are a strategy of our brains to save energy. Our brain constantly tries ways to save energy, and when we form a habit, we don't have to reason about it. We just do. Just execute the habit. For example, if we brush our teeth, we don't have to think how to move our hand. And research has shown that about 40% of our daily activities are based on habits and not of conscious decisions. So here are the three general parts of habits. First, there is the cue, which is the trigger of the habit. For example, if you listen a bell ringing, you open the door, or if you hear your phone, you grab it. Those are the sounds, or what you see or what you feel. The input is the trigger of certain routines, which is part two, is the routine of the habit. And that's the part where you execute whatever you do. For example, smoking a cigarette or brushing your teeth or whatever. And finally comes the reward, which is a pleasant feeling in your mouth after brushing your teeth, or the relaxing effect of your cigarette or whatever. And habits are based on the basal ganglia, which is a part of the brain which is very resilient. And that's why even when one suffers brain damage, the region of habits is still intact. So brain damage doesn't help with bad habits. Habits create cravings. Animal studies have shown that once an animal becomes used to the cue, routine, reward cycle, it then anticipates the reward once the cue has been given. For example, when they denied the reward to an animal, once it was anticipating the reward, then it got frustrated. And this is something we all experience at some point, that when we try to get rid of a bad habit, for example, procrastination or eating sugar, we don't like it because we are craving for the results, the rewards of our bad habits. The golden rule of changing habits is to replace the routines and keeping the same cues and rewards. And you may think, how is that possible? Well, it turns out, as the organization Alcoholics Anonymous found out, that many people which are addicted to alcohol actually are not looking for the effect of intoxication itself, but they are looking for relaxation, socialization, and so on. So they make them write down a list with their cravings and try to replace their routine, which in this case is drinking alcohol, with something else where they still can obtain the same rewards. Belief is another important component in sticking to new and better routines. And people need to believe basically that they are capable of changing their bad habits. Spirituality can help with this, as research showed. And And then there are the keystone habits which can trigger other positive habits as well. For example, you do whatever. For example, you stick to a new training routine, and this new habit which you successfully execute every day helps you to stick to other better habits too. For example, eating healthier. And I experienced this myself when I started training. I automatically, without effort, could improve many other bad habits or get rid of them entirely by implementing better habits. Then there is the most important keystone habit, which is willpower, and I will not go into detail. You can watch my other video where I talk about the book Willpower. But basically, what is explained in this book is that willpower is another skill which can be learned, and it can be trained like a muscle. And you can give you more willpower and endurance, so to say. Mental preparation also can contribute to willpower, and this is something interesting for me because you just have to think about your challenge, and in doing that you can basically produce more willpower for if you are in that situation later. And to sum it all up, to fix bad habits, we basically have to become conscious of our bad habit, acknowledge it, and then take the necessary actions to solve it. And this book gives great information how to do it and make it easier. So check out the blog post and see you next time.